The distress signal pierced through the void like a dying scream, reaching Earth's outer monitoring stations with perfect clarity. Commander Rachel Torres stood in the United Earth Defense Force Command Center, studying the transmission data with narrowed eyes. The signal originated from a Zelthari vessel, allegedly crippled by engine failure near Jupiter's orbit. "They're requesting immediate assistance," Lieutenant Park reported, his fingers dancing across holographic displays. "Life support failing. 37 crew members in critical condition." Rachel's jaw tightened. The Zelthari were known throughout the galaxy as ruthless scavengers, preying on weaker species under the guise of diplomatic missions. 6 months ago, they'd attempted to purchase Earth's defensive coordinates under the pretense of mutual protection agreements. Humanity had politely declined. "Prep the Valkyrie," Rachel ordered, "but keep the Heimdall and Thor on hot standby, cloaked at maximum distance." Her second-in-command, Major Chen, raised an eyebrow. "You don't trust them?" "I don't trust anyone who conveniently breaks down in our backyard after we refuse their trade deals," Rachel replied coldly. "But we're still human. We still answer distress calls." The UEDF Valkyrie launched within the hour, cutting through space toward the stricken alien vessel. Captain Morrison commanded the rescue ship, a seasoned officer who'd survived first contact with 3 different species. His crew was hand-picked, volunteers who understood they might be flying into a trap. As the Valkyrie approached, sensors swept the Zelthari ship. The readings were almost too perfect. Hull breaches in non-critical sections, power fluctuations that looked catastrophic, but left weapon systems conveniently functional, life signs exactly where they should be for maximum dramatic effect. "They're not even trying to hide it," Morrison muttered to his tactical officer. "Helm, maintain distance. Extend docking tube but do not seal connection." Through the view screen, the Zelthari vessel loomed, its crystalline structure glinting against Jupiter's massive backdrop. Morrison activated communications, his voice carefully neutral. "Zelthari vessel, this is UEDF Valkyrie. We're prepared to begin rescue operations. Please prepare to receive medical teams." The response came quickly, almost eagerly. "Acknowledged, human vessel. We are forever in your debt. Please hurry. Our children are dying." Morrison's expression hardened. "Intelligence reports confirmed the Zelthari didn't bring offspring on military vessels." He glanced at his weapons officer, who gave an almost imperceptible nod. The Heimdall and Thor were in position, invisible predators waiting in the dark. "Transmitting docking sequence now," Morrison said calmly. The moment the Zelthari ship locked onto the docking tube, everything changed. Panels along its hull snapped open, revealing plasma cannons that had been hidden behind holographic projections. Boarding pods launched toward the Valkyrie like missiles, each containing Zelthari shock troops ready to overwhelm and capture the rescue vessel. But the Valkyrie was already moving. Morrison had never stopped his engines. The ship peeled away with impossible agility, the docking tube explosively detaching. The boarding pods sailed through empty space, finding nothing but vacuum where their target had been. "Now," Morrison commanded. The Heimdall and Thor dropped their cloaking fields, materializing on either side of the Zelthari vessel like vengeful gods. The alien ship tried to maneuver, but humans had learned warfare in the harshest proving ground imaginable, against each other, for thousands of years. What the Zelthari considered advanced tactics, humanity had refined and abandoned centuries ago as too predictable. Railgun rounds punched through the Zelthari shields as if they were paper. Humans had discovered that while energy weapons were elegant and efficient, a tungsten rod traveling at a fraction of light speed didn't care about shields designed to deflect coherent energy. Physics was physics, and kinetic energy was the universe's oldest argument. The Zelthari vessel's weapons fired desperately, plasma bolts that would have vaporized most ships. But human vessels were built by a species that had survived ice ages, pandemics, world wars, and nuclear standoffs. They were over-engineered, redundant, and paranoid by design. The Thor's armor absorbed hits that should have been fatal, its crew working with mechanical precision to reroute power and maintain offensive capability. "Target their life support." Rachel's voice crackled through the comm from Earth Command. "Let them feel what they tried to inflict on others." Morrison hesitated for only a moment. Then he remembered the intelligence reports. 17 species the Zelthari had exterminated using exactly this tactic. Fake distress, gain trust, slaughter the rescuers, take their ships and technology. Firing, the weapons officer announced. Precision strikes crippled the Zelthari vessel's environmental systems. The aliens' arrogant communication channel remained open, and Morrison could hear the panic spreading through their ranks. They were experiencing real system failures now, not the theatrical ones they'd staged. Human vessel. The Zelthari commander's voice had lost all its false weakness, replaced by pure venom. You dare? We are Zelthari. We have conquered 100 worlds. And now you've learned why Earth hasn't been conquered once, Morrison replied, his voice ice cold. We answer distress calls because we're civilized. But we're not stupid, and we're definitely not prey. The Zelthari ship tried one final desperate gambit, activating a self-destruct sequence that would have taken the human vessels with it. But the Heimdall's electronic warfare suite had been mapping their systems since the first moment of contact. The signal was intercepted, overridden, and shut down before it could cascade. Silence filled the void. Zelthari vessel, you have two choices, Rachel's voice transmitted from Earth. Surrender and face trial for attempted piracy, or continue resisting and become a debris field. Choose now. The response came after a long, bitter pause. We surrender. As the Zelthari crew was taken into custody, their ship secured and under tow, Morrison stood on the Valkyrie's bridge, staring at the stars. Humanity had been tested again, and once more they'd shown the galaxy a fundamental truth. Compassion and strength weren't mutually exclusive. Humans would always reach out to help those in need, but those who mistook that compassion for weakness would learn a harder lesson. Humanity had climbed its way out of caves, survived extinction-level events, and turned a hostile rock into a thriving world. They were survivors, warriors, and guardians all at once. The Zelthari had faked needing rescue. Earth had made it their burial, not through extermination but through something far more devastating. The complete dismantling of their predatory mythology. Word would spread across the stars. Humanity could not be hunted. They were the ones who decided who lived and who fell.